The gravel crunched under my boots as I stepped out of my pickup, the familiar scent of pine and dust welcoming me home. I'd been gone 5 days, helping a friend repair a wind-torn shed in Colorado. But the peace I expected at my Willow Creek ranch was shattered by thumping music, balloons tied to my porch, and a banner screaming, "Happy Retirement, Coach Daniels." A crowd of strangers danced and drank on my land. In the middle of it all stood Marjorie Hensley, the HOA vice president, glittering in a sequined sash, clutching her phone. Before I could speak, she dialed 911, shrieking about a stranger on her proper time. My ranch, and I was the intruder. What unfolded next was a war I never saw coming, one that would test my trust, my resolve, and the very ground I stood on. My name's Thomas Grayson. I'm 52, a retired firefighter turned carpenter and cattle rancher. 3 years ago, I bought this 15-acre slice of heaven outside Boise, Idaho, craving solitude after decades in the city. I built the barn with my own hands, restored the farmhouse with cedar planks, and planted a garden that feeds me and my neighbors. My dogs, Rusty and Scout, keep me company. I thought I'd found my sanctuary. But Marjorie, the HOA's self-appointed guardian, had other plans. She lived 2 lots over in a mansion she barely used, always in floral cardigans, armed with a clipboard and a smile that hid her need for control. I'd fixed her fence once, free of charge. She thanked me with a loaf of zucchini bread. I never imagined that kindness would lead to betrayal. 5 days before that party, I left for Colorado. I locked the gate, left my dogs with my sister, and asked my neighbor, Carl, to keep an eye out. Marjorie texted me the second night. Saw a delivery truck at your gate. I took the package for safekeeping. I thought she was being helpful. I didn't know she'd swiped my gate code months earlier during a neighborhood inspection. To her, my private land was community property. She decided it was the perfect spot for her brother-in-law's retirement bash, inviting 30 strangers to my home without a word to me. When I returned and saw the chaos, fury boiled in my chest. Marjorie, spotting me, called 911, claiming I was trespassing. "Stay back. The police are coming," she yelled, as if I were a thief. I stood there, keys to my gate in hand, while she spun her lies. A sheriff's deputy arrived, eyeing the balloons and red Solo cups. I showed him my ID and gate code. "This is my land," I said. Marjorie stammered. He wasn't supposed to be back yet. The deputy shook his head. "Ma'am, you can't throw a party on someone's property without permission." As he ordered the crowd to leave, a beer bottle shattered on my porch. Then I noticed my back door was open, my dog's bowls gone, and my front light broken. This wasn't just a party someone had been inside my home. I stormed into the house. Muddy high-heel prints marked my hardwood. My mail was scattered, a half-empty bottle of my bourbon sat on the counter, and a stranger's scarf draped over my armchair. My dog's leashes were missing. "Marjorie," I growled. The deputy followed me in. "They've been inside," I said, voice tight. Marjorie appeared at the door, scoffing. "Don't overreact, Thomas. My cousin stayed one night. The motel was full. You let someone sleep in my house." I snapped. The deputy frowned. If he didn't approve this, that's unauthorized entry. Then I remembered my safe. I bolted to my bedroom, heart pounding, and flung open the closet panel. The safe was wide open, empty. 2 weeks earlier, I'd stored $10,000 for a contractor who bailed, plus my dad's old Colt revolver and personal documents deeds, my mother's will journals. All gone. "My safe's been robbed," I told the deputy, my voice hollow. "Cash, a gun, everything." He called for backup. Guests slunk away, some muttering apologies. One woman said she saw Marjorie leaving my house with a folder. Another mentioned Marjorie's cousin flaunting a new purse. Marjorie vanished into the crowd. By nightfall, the ranch was quiet, but the violation lingered. Carl brought Rusty and Scout back, saying he'd seen Marjorie near my place earlier that week. I filed a police report, submitted photos of the empty safe, and shared Marjorie's text. But with no fingerprints or forced entry, the case felt shaky. I wasn't waiting for justice to stall. That night, I staked out Marjorie's house from behind her hedges. At 9:30 p.m., she drove her SUV to a storage facility, entering Unit 127. Through my phone's zoom, I saw her unload a duffel bag in a lockbox. I had her. The next morning, I showed the sheriff's office the footage. It's not enough for a warrant, they said, but get her to admit what's in there, and we'll move. I prepared for the HOA hearing that Friday, gathering evidence. Texts, Carl's statement, safe photos, and the storage video. At the hearing, Marjorie sat smugly in a lavender blazer. I handed the board folders detailing her crimes, then played the storage video. Care to explain Unit 127, Marjorie? I asked. Her smirk faded. I don't have to answer without a lawyer, she muttered. The room buzzed. That night, the sheriff got a warrant. At 7:34 a.m., they searched Unit 127. Inside were my $10,000, the Colt, and my documents. Marjorie was arrested for theft, trespassing, and possessing a stolen firearm. Her house swarmed with deputies as she stood handcuffed on her porch, her control crumbling. But the HOA wasn't done. 2 days later, they sent a compliance audit notice, claiming my barn and solar panels were unpermitted. I showed Carl's drone footage proving every structure was legal. Then I requested an audit of the HOA's finances, uncovering thousands spent on board members' homes' new decks, AC units, landscaping. I emailed the findings to every resident. The board collapsed. 3 members resigned, and a vote ousted the rest. Marjorie's trial came. I testified, showing the storage video and her 911 call. Her lawyer's misunderstanding defense crumbled. She got probation, fines, and a shattered reputation. But she wasn't finished. She sued me for defamation and emotional distress. My lawyer, Ellen Carter, called it a slap suit to drain me. I fought back, launching WillowCreekTruth.com with redacted evidence, audit records, videos, police reports. The site went viral, exposing Marjorie's tyranny. Neighbors shared their own stories, fined one for a visible mailbox, harassed another over a wheelchair ramp. When Marjorie's brother, Paul, gave me security footage of her plotting the theft, her lawsuit collapsed. She dropped it and fled town. Just when I thought it was over, Valor Ridge Properties offered $2.5 million for my ranch to build a sustainable, gated community. I refused. They bought surrounding lots, harassing neighbors into selling. I posted their letters online, rallying support. A biologist found endangered sage grouse on my land, halting their project. Today, my ranch stands. Rusty and Scout nap on the porch. Neighbors grill ribs in my yard, free from HOA fear. Valor Ridge is silent for now. What would you do if your home were targeted? Have you faced injustice or fought back against the system? Share your thoughts below, especially on violence and fairness in our world. Your voice matters, let's hear it.